Proceed with the countdown.
10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2.
You're
Proceed with the countdown.
What in the shit?
hashtag
You
blame
muted,
Loki.
Pops. Hashtag blame Loki. I've never seen an intro do that before.
Wait, here, I'll make up for it. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, you muted, Pops.
Are we now
There you
live?
go. I guess we're live. It won't
I
finish
don't-
playing the intro.
I don't know what happened. Why don't we start it over and just play it? I don't know what's happening. Let's just start from
Okay.
scratch.
Okay, everyone, act like this didn't happen.
Yeah. Everybody out there, we're experiencing technical difficulties.
Proceed with the countdown.
10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2.
Time's up.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Look, whoever the Batman is, he doesn't want to do this for the rest of his life. How could he? Batman is looking for someone to take up his mantle.
But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever. And why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you?
But he clearly works in mysterious ways, and maybe that's just his job.
Iron Man or Captain America?
Don't really care.
In Sync or Backstreet Boys?
No, get rid of both of them.
This is Fight Night.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's talk hard. And yes. Is it playing again? What is
No.
our intro
no.
has a mind of its own right now. I have no idea what's happening. I thought I heard it counting down again. It was crazy. Well, listen, guys, here we are. Let's do it. Let's talk hard. And hope everybody's doing well out there. With me, our two great guests, our host, co-host. We're not guests anymore. We've been doing this for a long time now. So, Stone Loki, my brother, how is the mischief?
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. We're gonna do it live. God help me.
We need Christian Bale in here yelling at us now.
We've got two of us. There's two of us that can hit the back buttons in the back panel in the back of the room, and it still doesn't work right. So God help us all. Thank you, StreamYards.
I don't know. I started Restream and I played around with it briefly and had a similar sort of like buffering issue. And I'm like, I still think that points to me as a problem, but I didn't do anything. Okay. So StreamYard doesn't want to play nice. There it is, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed the intro. It's relatively close to its entirety. I don't know what's happening. Ironcaster, my brother, what's going on with you, my friend?
Oh, we're doing just fantastic around here. Been out and about. I getting up and getting running. I had to scrape the inside of my windshield this morning.
Oh, because of the ice?
Yes, it was
Oh,
like
yeah?
that quote. I had to scrape the inside of my windshield, not the outside. No, that was fine. It was the inside.
It iced up on the inside. Wow.
Yes.
Holy crap. Yeah, that's crazy. So I know that my business, our company, is under all sorts of chaos because I guess the Memphis airport hub is like completely shut down or something. I don't even know what's happening in Memphis, but it's totally disrupting the middle of the country, which is creating problems, going to the southeast. So yeah, so everybody out there, please stay warm, be careful, and all of that that goes along with it. Of course, we're going to be praying for this guy who lives in Texas who they don't know what to do when it snows. So who knows, brother? We'll see what happens. Keep us posted.
Oh, yeah. Well, they don't.
Hail
They
to
have
all of
no
you in
idea.
chat. Yeah, he talked about it this morning on his show, and it was just like, oh my goodness. And I know people feel that way when they come down here because of hurricanes and stuff, but down here, it's kind of like what you were saying with Branson. It's like everyone has a routine. This is what's going on. This is how they operate pretty well. Okay. But I can't imagine if it were to snow. Holy cow. I cannot imagine if it snows. It's crazy. I cannot. So Whitechapel is here. Hey there, brother. Hope you're doing all right. Keep in touch. Speaking of trying to stay warm, Chris Persia in the Great White North, bro. Thank you for everything you do for us, taking care of the chat, supporting the channel the way you do. Thank you so much. Please stay warm and scrape those inside of your windshials. Be safe. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah. By the way, those scrapers.
I don't know. I don't say about softwares. They don't work.
No, because like it's like the windshield's slightly curved out this way, and like your scraper's kind of designed to go with that.
Oh,
whereas
see.
I do it, and all I get is just I get these two little like lines down like the outsides of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chris, we did it live. We did the best we could. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, Chris, StreamYard is kind of like running its course for me. I'm experimenting with Restream. I have not had a great first impression with Restream. We'll see how it goes. ZBR, my brother, I hope you're doing well across the pond. Always great to see you, my friend. And Claude is here as well. See that hesitation? I when I mentioned your name, I clicked, so there's like a little bit of a delay there, and I don't know why. It didn't used to be this way. Nothing has changed in my end. Same computer, same connections. Anyway, Claude, hopefully you're doing well, brother. And here we are. All right, I think I've caught up with everybody. So this will wrap up our birthday themed elements in January. Obviously, it was Christian Bale's birthday yesterday. Dude's only 49. I thought he was way older than that. I thought he was closer to. I thought he was my age or a little bit older. But then I thought about, well, when Empire's Son came out, he was a kid, so he's a couple years behind me. So that makes sense. All right. But yeah, Christian Bale will wrap up our month long of just discussing some kind of like actor studio conversations and that kind of thing. So before we get too far into the weeds, is there anything in particular love or hate about the Christian Bale resume, Loki, that you'd like to touch on before we get too far into it?
He's the little shit in Empire of the Sun. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's his first.
Wow,
that's his first film. I'm pretty sure.
That takes me back, man. That takes me back. I remember the end of that movie with the friend he had. He's going to commit, Harry Carey, and he ends up getting shot. And, oh my God, I can't believe that. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Wow.
Yeah, that's where it all started. I don't know who the casting person is at Spielberg, pretty much, because Spielberg likes to work with pretty much the same people. So I don't know who it was who found Christian Bale, but yeah, that's his first film as far as I know. Yep, there he is. He did a great job, actually, for young actor. Did a great job.
Oh yeah. That scene where he tries to bring that dude back to life and rolls his eyes in the back of his head. I was like, wow.
Good stuff. Chris Persia is saying that YouTube has changed some stuff. So if you notice, the chat handles have color. So maybe the YouTube StreamYard's interface is acting up. That is very possible, right? That is very possible. Because people really have praised Restream. And I pretty much kind of ran into some of the similar stuff. Now, I haven't done an actual live stream yet using Restream. I've only been doing like video stuff that I normally do. But I didn't notice any real difference. I noticed pretty much the same thing. I did like some of the layout dynamics a little bit better on Restream, but obviously the dashboard and everything is completely different, so it takes some getting used to. So is there a film though, Loki, that jumps out at you of like, oh man, this is the quintessential Christian Bale, or something in particular?
It's got to be the Batman movies.
The Batman, Dark Knight.
obviously a lot of people see Bale as the like quintessential Batman, the number one Batman. I didn't think I saw that with Begins. Obviously, Dark Knight is probably the best film. Rises had a lot of issues, but yeah, it's the Batman movies.
Yeah, I agree. Ironcaster, what about you, man? Anything love, hate, and the old Christian Bale resume we can get off the list right away?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of looking over the list now, and it's like there's a lot. I think probably one of the roles that really stands out to me that was like the best role in a bad movie was that Thor: Love and Thunder, like where he's playing Gorr, the God Butcher. It's like, unfortunately, like the movie's terrible, but he's the best part of it, and he's even still wasted here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. And that seems to be the case. I don't think I've seen anything with Christian Bale that I thought he didn't do a good job. I think he was bringing it. Like, I can't, it's kind of like Johnny Depp has the same kind of thing. I don't think I blame him. So, all right, so let's discuss the Batman. So I think that so for me, as far as the Nolan trilogy, there's a ton of stuff that works and a ton of stuff that doesn't work. I will say, I love that Nolan was trying to really ground the film to make it as realistic as they could, like to make it believable. Like if you or I were really uber wealthy and we really wanted to do this, and we had experimental lab technology and we could get like state of the art equipment, it would be very believable. And I know a lot of people, one of the big hangups, of course, is like the Bat tank. Basically, it's like it's not really a Batmobile. It's definitely not like a streetcar would be. But I think I understand what they were trying to go for. What I really didn't like, you guys speak to this, I didn't like that they didn't change the car. Like it didn't become like more of a car in like the second movie. Like, I mean, you got it in the first movie. Like everything in Batman Begins was like prototype stuff. It's like, okay, fine. Then how come it didn't evolve though? I don't feel like much evolved in the Batman Nolan trilogy. I don't know. What do you think, Loki?
I agree. And I think with the Tumbler, they wanted something more like the tank that you get in Dark Knight Returns in the Frank Miller books, because in the Frank Miller book it's more like a tank. It's not like a car. So I kind of feel like that's what they were kind of going for, and that makes sense considering the last movie is supposed to be kind of originally was to introduce Superman and have like that fight between Batman versus Superman. And of course, we didn't get that till Batman versus Superman, but that was the original idea, was that the third movie was going to bring in Superman and they were going to have a kind of Frank Miller throwdown between Batman and Superman.
What about you, Ironcast? Where you come down on the Nolan trilogy and Bale in particular?
You're muted.
I'm not hearing you, brother.
Yeah. Oh no, I muted myself. I had to go. I actually had something I needed to grab for specifically this particular discussion. But yeah, no, Christian Bale is an intense actor, and he definitely is like the star of the show with those movies. I mean, Heath Ledger aside, I love his performance in these movies. I think it's probably one of the best modern Batman we've got.
Okay, I mean, there's really there's like three or four chapters, right? We have like classic Adam West, and then you have Keaton, and we have Bale, and then we have the newer. So we don't. I mean, I know there's a Val Kilmer. I know whatever. We're not talking about all that nonsense. Like those are all they all have to have their own separate conversations. But we treat the Keaton as a Batman. We treat Bale as a Batman. Then we treat the Affleck as a Batman. We don't really get in. I don't believe we should even bother with some of those kinds of things. Bobby does point out by the second movie he's able to turn his head. What's that? Well, yeah. So again, I was trying to go live action. I would compare apples to apples. So go ahead.
So with the mention of the Bat Tumbler, the Bat Tank, I have a little piece of memorabilia here I was gifted a couple of years ago that is very relevant. It was kind of in this, unfortunately, it's kind of fallen off its little placard, but this is a piece of one of the Bat Tanks.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. All right.
Let me take this out of the little shadow box it was in.
Huh. I know they had 3 or 4. Oh, like a little plate.
The story I was told was they had they had gone and made quite a few of them up, and one of them they had apparently like gone and cut up and were giving away for charity, and so this was gifted to a friend. From basically, it's like I got it from a friend of a friend.
Oh, very cool.
As a piece of it, and the guy who I got it from, I wholeheartedly believe him on it. But yeah, no, it's like a little piece of the plexiglass or whatever the material was they used to make the fiberglass for the bat tank.
That's very, very cool.
Some little damage on it.
Interesting. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, for films like that, they obviously make multiple units. So yeah, very cool. So people are a little ahead of us on a couple of the other films and that kind of thing. We'll get to any other thoughts about the Batman role, Loki in particular. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more with your assessment of the three movies. Yeah.
The voice. The voice is iconic, whether he meant it to be cringe, whether he meant it to be menacing. You know, where are the other cops? Where are the other cops? Me. Swear to me. You know, it's one of those things that you're like, okay, yeah, whether you think it's cringe or not, whether you thought it was like, oh my God, that's what he's supposed to be doing, or oh my God, I can't believe he took it that far. It's one of those things you're never going to forget when you saw those movies. Him trying to change his voice and act all crazy and tough.
You know, my favorite thing that came out of
with J.K. Simmons, right? Once it becomes a meme, it becomes like a meme, right? It becomes like part of like the culture. I think that's what you're trying to get at. Yeah. Go ahead, Ironcaster.
Oh, I was gonna say one of my favorite things that came out of those was then the parodies of that, like where Pete Holmes went and did his whole Batman parody series.
Commissioner Gordon, there you are.
Hey, he goes to sleep.
Yeah, because it becomes. Yeah, it just becomes some little silly stuff. So okay, very cool, very cool. I didn't dislike. I can't criticize Bale. I can criticize some of the decisions that are made, creative decisions, things like that. Not so much him and his performance, that kind of thing. So, chat's bringing up a couple other movies. You guys can tell me if you have seen them or not. Bobby is bringing up The Machinist, which is where he's like scary thin. And that is at the top of my Bale list of 3 or 4 films that I haven't watched yet. But yeah, I've heard wonderful things about The Machinist. Have you seen him and seen The Machinist?
Yeah. Good movie.
Yep. Didn't he lose like 100 pounds? He literally weighs like he's like skin and bones.
Yeah. He looks like what's
crazy.
His name when he did Joker? Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, right. Okay. Like the whole sunken body. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. 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 That's crazy. And also didn't even get to it, right? They call American Hustle where he gains he's a fat guy. Like, so there's like, this guy has no problem doing these crazy things and in this element of commitment. And this is sort of like another reason why I thought like an actor profile month was kind of fun because, again, like I think Ironcaster, you were saying with like Thor, it's like, well, of all the reasons to criticize the movie, he's clearly doing the best he can with what he had to work with. But then you have a guy like this that's literally willing to like lose and gain 100-something pounds. That's just crazy. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's called American Hustle. It's on my list as well. And it's
just
like
kind of show you that
back and forth
comparison.
Yeah. Fat guy. Fat Bale. Thin Bale. That's some commitment right there. Wow.
And I mean,
and GOV says the same thing about that.
It's kind of looking at some of these actors like this and seeing just sort of how dedicated they are to the art of it, to the craft of acting, all the levels they go to for getting ready for the role, to where, I mean, it's like they spend so much time like trying to build up essentially in their own psyche how to play this role. And Christian Bale is one of these actors who is phenomenal at doing that sort of thing. It's like he has to very much effectively build the character up in his own head, become the character so he can portray him.
And I purposely chose a couple of those clips of that one interview, which I thought was funny, where he's like, they start talking about Marvel characters. He's like, I don't care. He's talking about this. He's like, yeah, I don't care. He strikes me very much as being like the typical Hollywood. They don't watch stuff. They're not connected. They treat this as a job. Go watch their stuff. It's an art and a craft. They're not like big fans of other stuff. Like, it's just not how they operate. And he seems very, very odd and quirky in that regard. So I don't know. So what else about the Machinist did you like, Loki? What about him and his performance in Machinist that you thought was super cool?
I just think he did a really good job. I mean, you can't ask a person to do that. You can't ask a person to do that to themselves. I mean, you know, I've heard of all kinds of crazy shit in Hollywood where, you know, Michael Bay asked what's her name, that one chick, hey, you know what, lose, you know, get under 100 pounds. Yeah. Lose. You hear about stuff like that, but you don't really, I mean, that's extreme. That's dedication. That's going above and beyond for your craft. We're gonna, you know what, we're gonna look like an absolute stick figure. I don't see how these people do it. I don't. I couldn't do that. I mean, you can talk about improv and all kinds of shit like that all you want to, but I couldn't like lose 50 pounds at the drop of a hat and be 150 pounds at 6'3". That's just not, I mean, I'd look horrible. He that looks believable. At least that looks believable. He does. He looks believable. He looks like he lives like that.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't look completely out of place.
He transformed.
Same with Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix, that's dedication. You know what? That's we're gonna completely dive into the art of our craft, and we're gonna do everything we can to make sure it's believable. And
well, first off, hail to Dean Krantz and DJ Ronnie G coming up in here. Hey there, fellas. Hope you guys are doing well. The other one, I guess they're saying he did the same thing, and I did not see The Fighter. He plays the crackhead, right? And Bale is incredible, and the crackhead is in The Fighter. Do you have a picture of that as well, Ironcaster? See if you can pull that up. See, because he does a body transformation as well. Dean says, yeah, he did the same kind of thing in The Fighter. And Brandon, the anime guy, hey, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Man, I was able to be on his show here recently. That was a lot of fun. Great show, by the way.
Oh, wow. He is so
let's help that great guy out. Yeah. Adega Outlaw is here. Hey, Doc. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, look at that.
What's up, Adega?
I saw The Fighter when it first dropped, like digitally, like streaming, whatever. But I'm not gonna be able to get to all these Bale films fast enough that I wanted to revisit. But yeah, he really has no problem doing that. I know Jared Leto has done this. I know there's other actors and stuff like that, but this is definitely not the commonplace, that kind of thing. Definitely not. But he's done it regularly. He's done it a couple times. So yeah, bringing the animated guy saying Christian Bale is crazy with how he can transform his body. That has to be rough. Yeah, they eat like just a few hundred calories a day for like weeks and months. It's crazy how they'll do that, right? So ZBR saying, did his comment get purged? Did I miss something? I see. Let's help this guy out. Was there another comment, brother? I don't have the other comment if it did. And I have no idea what YouTube is doing these days. No idea. Sorry about that, my friend. You guys see it out there? You guys
no, I didn't see anything.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't see it. So yeah, I mean, maybe. And Shelby Love is here. She loves. She was able to join us like last week. Loki and your apps. We had a great time chatting up some stuff and having some fun about Nick Cage. So.
Oh, the crazy
guy. Knows? Yeah, Brandon says, yeah, who knows what they did? Who knows?
Yeah, we had Nicolas Cage inside a cage made of Nicolas Cage.
Was he wearing Nicolas Cage pajamas? Was
Ironcaster was going crazy with the meat.
My favorite is still the Nicolas Cage.
The meme. yeah, it was quite disturbing. So I don't think Christian Bale is quite as memed, but it is a lot. So, all right, so let's get to it. Yeah, Bobby brings up Equilibrium. Who has seen Equilibrium? Either of you seen Equilibrium? I think it's an okay film that he does a great job in. So yeah, interesting. I think is a fair word for it. It's an okay film, but he's great. And Whitechapel brings up The Prestige, which I think is a very underrated film. That's a Christopher Nolan film as well. Prestige is a great film. I really, really enjoy that. And again, I think he is fantastic. He is fantastic. So yeah, there you go. That's more like the traditional Christian Bale look. Yeah.
He looks he's going for a Bond villain.
Well, I think that too, or like a classic, like a Logan's Run or something like these kind of films, like something that's, you know, a different type of sci-fi or whatever. But yeah, he easily could have been or could be like, you know, Grand Moff Tarkin. He could easily be that kind of villain, I think. He needs to rock more of a Widow's Peak, you know, saying bit of a thing for Widow's
They need to
Peak
go and make
all,
him like, they need to make him the new Blofeld. I want to see Christian Bale stroking a cat.
I like the black outfit with the white cat. Now that'd be pretty sharp. See that kind of look with the Blofeld. Yeah.
Chris, please clip that. If you're listening, Chris, please clip that. Ironcaster wants to see him petting a pussy.
Was that his words, or is that words that you're putting in his mouth? I'm just a little concerned. I'm a little concerned.
No, he said, you know, he wants to see him do the Blofeld thing. So, you
know. Okay. All right. Apollo Minion here. Hey, lady. Hope you're doing well. One of our great members and supporters here as well. Awesome to see her. Canoli Sasquatch in the house. Another great tuber over there doing some great shows. So that's always great to see it. Dean is talking about, I believe, Equilibrium. Says I've seen it. It's okay, but I think the writing was weak. Yeah, it's like okay. I think it's fair. Like it's interesting. It's okay, but I think he's good. I think he's fine. Again, this is the biggest thing. So, what about The Prestige, guys? Did you guys see The Prestige? It's a bigger film. Like Nolan's films are a little bit bigger. You seen Prestige?
I think so. I have to look it up.
That's the magic one.
I feel a little bad because like half these, I'm like, no, I haven't seen any of these.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Well, Prestige I can recommend. I think Prestige is a fun film. It's interesting. It's a timepiece, period piece. His performance is great. Like I don't know that we can come up with anything like that. So, yeah, I think the element of magic in previous eras is just an interesting concept. Like just him trying to pull some of that off. I think is pretty interesting. So. Yeah, Canelli Sasquatch says it was excellent. Yeah, I really did like it. I think it's really, really good. So, Mark the Infinity Tired dropping by with a like and said, "Hey, afternoon. Hey, brother. Hope you're doing all right." And should be.
What is up, Mark?
ZBR's comment. Yeah. Does the comment come back? Is that what happened with ZBR's comments? I have no idea what we missed, buddy. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what they did. Let's see. I see. Let's help a great guy out. I don't see another comment, brother. These, you know, I don't know. We're in like tech nightmare stuff. Some of this stuff too. Yeah, the dude that plays Tesla.
Society.
Yeah.
Oh, with Hugh Jackman, the magician one. Yes. Okay, I know what. Yeah.
It was good. It's
very
very solid.
2006.
Yeah, Christmas-ish, or at least fall. Yeah. Yeah, Bob, I'm going to get to that. Let's do that. We can jump to that now. It's definitely a genre film, so it'll be easier. And Arcat probably seen it. Terminator Salvation. His John Connor. What's your take on his Terminator there, Ironcaster?
See, this is one of those cases where I still haven't seen it. I somehow managed to avoid this one.
Oh.
Like the only thing I really know is like
all right.
It was on the set of making this film was where he had the famous outburst.
Yeah. Watch the director's cut.
Yeah,
if you ever watch this movie, watch the director's cut. It explains a little more, and I didn't think it was as bad as everybody played it out to be. a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, this is the worst Terminator movie." Obviously, you haven't seen Dark Fate or Genesis. No, I would take this movie over Dark Fate
Anytime
or
you
Genesis
think,
any day of the week.
Well, it's like, well,
anytime
they
you
can't
think
blow it
Terminator
apart further.
3, anytime you think Terminator 3 or Salvation is as bad as it can get, just hang on. They're gonna hold their beer. It's coming. They can keep one-upping themselves and getting worse. I didn't think it would be possible, but it is. Salvation has a lot of problems too. I don't think he's part of the problem though. I think he's still like okay. I think it's just not a well sort of like conceptually and executed film is all. So yeah. But yeah, I agree.
The guy,
I haven't watched the director. I own the director's cut.
The guy that plays Marcus is the guy from Avatar. He's the guy who plays Sully in Avatar. They had him doing so many movies back to back that when he got to this movie, he said he almost quit acting completely. He was like, I was ready to walk off the set. I was done. I was tired. I didn't want to keep doing this. They had me hopping from movie to movie to movie. I wasn't catching a break anywhere. And you can kind of tell because he's got this just like a little bit of an I don't give a shit in this movie compared to what he's done before, where you could tell he was putting forth more of an effort. Whereas in this movie, he's just kind of like, I'm here. I'm going to do the movie. Great. And yeah, so I think that was part of it. But it's one of those movies that wasn't what everybody wanted. It wasn't. But I think if you take that away, if you take that back a little bit and just watch it for what it is, it's a good movie. It's not leading up to, it's not the movie right before Terminator 1. And I think that's what people wanted. And they didn't get that. They got the movie that's like 10 years out from Terminator 1. Kyle Reese is still a kid.
Way early. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't what everybody wanted, but it was better than Dark Fate and Genesis. So
Okay.
I'll take that
Genesis.
any day.
Oh my God, Genesis. Oh. DJ Ronnie G is talking about the Prestige, talking about there's a lot of hats. There is a lot of hats. And never getting a Houdini trunk. Well, yeah. Houdini trunks should be scare everyone. So, and I agree, Adega. I like Prestige. Prestige is very fun movie. So, Brandon's throwing some love that way too, saying Equilibrium and Prestige are 2000s era movies and they show it. Okay. Yeah. Worth a watch, but not necessarily multiple watch. I wouldn't mind rewatching Prestige. I don't know that I would. I mean, I guess Equilibrium fits into that, one serving kind of thing. But if it just happened to stumble across it or something like that, I wouldn't be opposed to watching Equilibrium like I am other films. But I think I would enjoy watching Prestige. I've not watched Prestige in a long time. Magic Tesla basically emerges what Mark's describing as Prestige. So yeah. Dean's saying it's a little bit slow. I can see that. It is a little bit slow. Yeah.
Because I kind of remember the ads or something seemed to kind of lead me to think that from back when that was out. Because I'm for some reason Tesla keep kind of in my head I always kind of associated with the movie, even though I knew it was kind of loosely about magic.
Gotcha. All right. I think ZBR, this is what you were trying to get at. Thank you so much for the super chat. A $5 Canadian super chat. Stephen Walton is facing eviction, so he set up a GoFundMe to raise the necessary funds to prevent this. His link can be found on his Twitter page. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for that super chat. It's very generous of you. Appreciate that. Obviously, I'll have to go check that out and reach out, maybe find a way of seeing what kind of help we can throw his way. And ZBR, let me see if I can find a little thank you clip to say thank you to my friend, brother. Thank you so much, helping to keep things going. And we can do a little old school meet the parents on that.
And
little,
just
little
simply,
love.
Oh yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Really played properly on the whole thing. So, all right, I'm sorry about that, ZBR. But thank you, brother, so much for that. I appreciate it so much.
It did play. We saw it.
It did play. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, it played.
All The lovely Sherry is here as well. Hey there, lady. Hope you're doing well. And let's see. I liked Bale. So this is Dean Cranston. I like Bale as John Connor, but the movie did not thrill me. Looked like a Transformer movie. Oh, that's not a horrible take on that film. I think a lot of the problem with that movie is it just seemed like they didn't connect the dots, like Loki was saying. Like, this is way before the first film, and it just seemed like what they were going to do with John didn't quite get us. Like, that was my biggest opposition. Like, what we're trying to get to and where we're at, I'm not sure I can get there. But again, I don't think I can hate on Bale for that. I agree with you about Sam Worthington, because he did all sorts of movies during that time frame.
I had heard that that was supposed to be the start of a new trilogy. Whether that is true or not, whether that is, they were completely honest, but that was supposed to be the start of a new trilogy leading up to them sending Kyle Reese back to the beginning in the very first Terminator. And obviously, that's not how that worked out. So there's a whole discussion forum about whether or not John Connor is the same John Connor that is in the future leading the Resistance. So it's really interesting, this whole thing of he went after the wrong Sarah Connor in the past, and there's another John Connor out there, and he thinks he's John Connor when he's not really John Connor. And yeah, it's this whole interesting
Terminator
take
multiverse.
The fact that the original Terminator in the first movie went after the wrong Sarah Connor, and that led Sarah to meeting Kyle and having this John Connor, but that's not the John Connor that was leading the Resistance in the original movie. And yeah, so it's crazy idea of how they affected the timeline and how the real John Connor's out there, just not the John Connor that we think he is. Yeah, it's crazy.
You guys saw how he reacted in that interview. Can you imagine just asking him if he's interested in coming back and playing John Connor again? That'd just be great, just to see his reaction. He'd be like, "You just go after yourself." He'd just be like, no,
"Who do you want me to play? Who?
Yeah, what no Terminator? What? Yeah, he
tells
just
it what.
Shelby's bringing up the Newsies. I don't know if you guys are doing this. Mrs. Pops makes me watch a lot of musicals. Newsies is one of her favorites. I don't think the Bale's Newsie is her favorite. It's a different one. This is the one I think. But yeah, he's done a Newsies. He's done his thing. He's got some skills. He's got some stuff. I know a lot of people like it. So
he did a few Disney films.
Yeah, he's definitely got some stuff on there. So Mike here, Comic Relief Crusaders there, and make sure you guys go over and check over that. Great content. I'm also having, let's see. Did I miss everything else? Okay, I haven't watched. This is really floating close to the top of the list, Bobby. Thank you so much. I think you're the one who brought it up earlier, like when it first dropped, was Pale Blue Eye. So this is a new Western that dropped, I believe, on Netflix. So, yeah. Bale could play Tesla. Yeah, I think he could. Yeah, absolutely. It took 3 days to finish watching. Oh, Bobby. So I don't think Lovely Sherry is quite as much of a fan. Keep an eye on that. So, okay, hold on.
Oh, wow. Actually, hang on.
What are we looking at? Trying to convince my dad to let me save his Hal Foster Prince Valiant comics German from his childhood. Okay. Yeah, it is a little eerie, isn't it? The Tesla look-alike. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay, Cannoli, I don't know. I think you're absolutely right. Look, do you know, is Salvation PG-13? It may be.
Yeah.
It could have been one of the hindrances of the film, I think. Pretty sure.
Yep. And the unedited version, the director's cut is rated MA, or whatever it is, non-NA, where they haven't rated it, but it's pretty much rated R. They cut little bits of it out. They cut part of the story out to keep it from being R. So yeah, it was PG-13 when it should have been an R-rated movie. That was back in the hey, you know what? How can we get one of these movies out without it being rated R phase of Hollywood? Let's do
get more kids into CR. See if it's PG-13.
Let's do AVP, but not make it a gory bloodfest and give it an R rating. Let's give it PG-13. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. Mark as well. He's bringing up Amsterdam. It's also on my list of things to try to get to. That's one to kind of check out. Yeah, Comic Relief Crusader kind of took us off topic there. Yeah, sorry, bro. I know that. Sorry about that. Yeah, CBR talking about interesting theory, the John Connor stuff. Interesting theories have been multiple. I don't know. Almost sounds like Terminator multiverse type stuff.
As if that wasn't complicated enough already.
Yeah, I know. Shelby's pointed out that he had a voice work in Pocahontas. Give his resume there, Ironcaster. I don't have his resume pulled up, so.
Yes, he played John Smith's friend.
Okay, interesting. Okay. A little bit of love for the young, cute, young Bale. So the other ladies are all chiming in on some Christian Bale love. Okay, fair enough. So, okay. Okay, what do you got? Something you've seen that you're like, this is pretty good.
Well, one of the ones actually in prep. One of the ones in kind of prep for this I wound up watching was Reign of Fire.
Oh, have you never seen Reign of Fire?
No, I hadn't. Like, it was always just kind of on the back burner. I meant to get to it, but I'm like, yeah, I'd kind of be all over a movie about like Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey fighting dragons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially when they roll up to that castle and he's like, bloody mannequins. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Christian and Matthew McConaughey is like, what a shithole.
Yeah, good time. It's a good time. Like, have a good time. So, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like a groundbreaking movie or anything. It's just fun. It's a good popcorn film.
Yeah, I agree. Let's have some fun. That's it. So, ZBR is pointing out that Loki's multiple John Connors and stuff that he was trying to communicate from the fan theory circles. It's all a lot easier to follow than Genesis. I could not agree more. Like Genesis, just to me this day, whenever they time hop and they haven't had sex yet, and they just time hop, and I'm like, I don't understand. We just broke it. Like it doesn't work now. Like I don't understand. No, stop. I mean,
I know
the movie has a lot of problems anyway, but that was
almost their attempt at like making that movie over again, and you cannot do that. You cannot remake Terminator. I know.
So then it justifies them killing John Connor because like they killed the wrong John Connor.
Yeah, they killed the wrong John Connor. Yeah.
I don't know what they've done. Even Doc Brown would have a hard time whiteboarding all this. I got to be honest. So.
Brings us into this alternate timeline, Monty. They killed John Connor in the past.
Fun parody. But not the right John Connor. Yes.
Skewing this timeline and sending us into an alternate 1985. Yeah.
Let's go back to 1955 to John's grandfather, Marty. Yes. Mark says, got a dash summoned by the derelict. Okay, yeah. Daryl and them are be ramping up here soon. So, I'll be. Let's try to make the back tube. Probably won't make the back tube until about 8 o'clock. But hey, listen, man, Mark, hang in there, brother. Thanks for stopping in and hanging with us for a minute. Say hey to everybody for us. So, all right, so let me bring up one of my favorites. This is a newer film called Ford versus Ferrari. You guys seen Ford versus Ferrari?
Yep, I thought it was absolutely excellent, especially the end of the movie.
Freaking great film. Great film. Holy crap. I was a little later to the game. Like I didn't see it when it first dropped. I saw it like week 3. It was like, oh, went back and saw it a couple more times. I was like, yeah, great film. Had a lot of fun. He is fantastic. And I got to be honest, the fact that, you can get him to punch Matt Damon in the face. I mean, I don't really care how fictional or whatever. Yeah, he's just nuts. He's fun. I felt like I was actually getting a little peek behind the curtain of what Christian Bale might be like in real life a little bit in this movie at times. He's nuts. It's great film. I never really did a dive deep on fact checking it all a little bit, but it's fun. So, lovely Sherry with a great comment here. Christian Bale. Okay, maybe you can pull this up too, Ironcaster, because I have no frame of reference. I don't even know what this is. Did a voice work?
Oh yeah.
Come on, there he goes. Howl's Moving Castle 2004. Miyazaki directed the anime. One of my favorites. Oh wow, that is so cool. He did an anime. So give me
this was from that kind of phase of where Disney was going and bringing a bunch of the Studio Ghibli films over. So they were able to get actually some really good voice casts for a lot of those. Like they were able to get Patrick Stewart in one of them doing some voice work. And I mean, overall, just a whole lot of the Ghibli stuff is actually like high quality stuff. This is probably of the as far as anime movies go, this one is probably up there as one of my favorites.
Very cool.
Yeah, here
very cool.
Let me find the castle itself real quick because it is just this totally insane thing that needs to be seen, especially since you haven't seen it.
Where's
Ford
Brandon
versus
the
Ferrari.
anime guy, and how does he not know this?
Yeah. He's bringing up the Cobra. She's bringing up the Cobra Roaster. That's I love those kind of cars too, man. I just love that kind of stuff. So yeah. Oh, that's great,
And this is the
ZBR.
castle.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ZBR. Oh, it's super cool. That seems familiar to me. So maybe that was something I've seen in some promotional material of some kind or something like that. So. Howl's Moving Castle. All right, I'm writing it down. I'm going to write it down. Can't make promises, but we'll see.
The thing is, there's a few of them there's a few of those Ghibli movies that are like highly recommended that I think would be worth kind of looking at just to talk about. I mean, just because like the star-filled cast for some of these.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me see if I can't pull up like the cast real quick. Like it had. Oh yeah, like for example, Billy Crystal was in it.
So Disney did some distribution or production. This is Disney.
My understanding is they distributed at the very least.
I remember the Ghibli run. There's tons of stuff. We were getting press passes to a ton of the Ghibli products, like a ton of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, like about once a month or so. It seems like there's always a Ghibli film playing at the local Cinemark.
Yeah, fandom, our Fathom event stuff was completely crazy all the time doing that kind of stuff. All right. Yeah, lovely Sherry's throwing out some more love for that franchise. So yeah, we got that. And yeah, she's saying Billy Crystal is the Calcifer. He's the fire god. Well, that's kind of cool. And Comic Relief is saying, yeah, it's a gem of a movie. Fantastic movie. Cool. Okay, so Shelby's giving us some clarification as well. It says Disney is allowed to dub them because of their friendship he developed with Pixar's Lasseter. Wow. Some history there that's gone awry. Maybe we can get some Lionsgate love going this way. So, cool. And then Jacob Ironside's hopping in here. So, it's good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing all right. Shelby says, if Lasseter didn't work hard to convince Miyazaki they'd be treated well, I don't think the deal would have gone through. Very cool. Very cool. See, I didn't know any of that. And so I'm learning more about that film than I have some of the other stuff. So it's cool. Well,
it's kind of cliche as it is to kind of do a whole Miyazaki month or something like that. It might be worth kind of at least picking one or two of them to do down the line.
Okay. Miyazaki talk hard. Find something. Maybe we can get someone like Brandon to come up here with us.
I think that'd be amazing.
We can always throw it out there and see if we can get it to work. And with that, Princess Leia Rose drops in the house. Hey there, lady. Hope you're doing well. The ladies are all up in here talking Christian Bale with us. So, Ironcaster, have you not seen Ford versus Ferrari?
No, I somehow managed to avoid seeing that. It was just kind of like, I think it was just like about that time where I was like, I didn't want to go out of the house. Not just because like I didn't want to deal with people.
So of the films we've mentioned, Loki, you tell me too. I think that's the one I'd recommend the most.
Yeah.
That he hasn't seen.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, Ford versus Ferrari would be the one to recommend that you haven't seen. And then I would say probably The Prestige. Just so you kind of have it off your bucket list. I don't know that you would need to watch it again, but you kind of have it off its bucket list. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that Nolan, because it is definitely got Nolan elements to it, but it also doesn't have Nolan elements. It's just interesting as a filmmaker. So,
There's also I mean, this is a true story. So this is all based on a true story. What they show you in the movie is the majority of what happened, but one thing they don't really touch on is how arrogant Ferrari is and how arrogant they were even when they were selling parts and cars that were substandard. So I mean, we all know what Ferrari is now. Imagine an age where they were so up their own ass they thought their poop didn't stink. I mean, they could come out with a complete pooper of a car, and oh my god, it's the next Ferrari Testarossa, ladies and gentlemen. They think it was absolutely, you know, everything so special. Every car is a special little snowflake, y'all. And they teach them, they tell them, they show them, you know what, this is what you're gonna get for your arrogant bullcrap and your crappy parts.
So dude is just now 49. I just want to throw out one other film. I don't know if you guys have seen it all. This is almost like an educational film. And talk about true story. Like made my brain hurt. True story. Had to read the book. True story. It's called The Big Short. You guys hear Big Short? Big Short is one of those Oscar films that, to me, again, I'm a little bit of a nerd, so it may not be for everybody, and it's a lot of cussing. But The Big Short is basically what happened during the housing crisis that destroyed our economy, and it has an incredible all-star cast that Christian Bale plays. Basically, one of the two or three guys that kind of cut their fingers on this of like it was going to happen. Steve Carell is also a major player in this too, but he plays a great dramatic role. Anyway, it is. It's one of those Oscar films that is a great Oscar film, but isn't really for everyone. I love Brad Pitt's role in this film, Ryan Gosling's all right, but really it's about Christian Bale, Steve Carell, and then this Brad Pitt character. There's a couple other characters too. I don't know if either of you have seen this movie, or chat if you guys have seen this or not. I can highly recommend the film if you're okay with dealing with that kind of drama, because it's literally like it's almost like a docudrama, and of course there's a whole book, and you can only do so much out of it, but the essence of it is all very real. It's kind of what Loki, you were saying with Ford and Ferrari. It's like they get enough of it right. You can't get everything in there. It just made me go down. That film is so good, it made me go down the rabbit hole. I remember watching that film when I got it on digital, and I remember it was kind of post-pandemic. I watched it twice back to back. I finished the film and I started it over again. There was just so much things that were happening in my head, like I couldn't get my head around. You got to be kidding me kind of stuff. Like it's just one of those kind of films, and it's just odd. It's also got like some odd, quirky elements that kind of make it, I think, digestible for a normie audience. You'd kind of have to. How can you talk about like the economy and the housing market and not make it, an entertaining film? But they pulled it off. So. Bobby's bringing up Amsterdam. Haven't watched it yet. It's on my ridiculously long, lengthy list of 2, and it just keeps getting jumped. And I'll be honest, I didn't get any Oscar love or anything like that, so that's the main reason why it got skipped. I actually just recorded my review of Triangle of Sadness, so that's one of the reasons that it got bumped ahead, because that's the film that's going to be more applicable to what people would be wanting to watch. So, not opposed to Amsterdam, but yeah. I gotta be honest, and Christian Bale being in it is one of the reasons I wanted to see it. Mrs. Pops wouldn't go. I wanted to see it in theater. So I get teased about how much I love Christian Bale's. I say films, but she says him, because there's a famous commercial for 310 to Yuma. Right? Did I get the name of the wrong film? Anyway.
Yeah, you got 310 to Yuma.
And I said, "Ooh, is that Christian Bale?" But evidently, I said it in a very effeminate way, like "Ooh," like that's her story. I don't remember ever saying anything like that. But
oh my.
I know, but I was like all about going, because I love Westerns, and Christian Bale is obviously he'd done one of the Batman movies. I'm not sure where he was in the storyline of the Batman movies, but 310 Yuma is okay. It wasn't a great Western or anything like that. He's fine. He's not the problem. It's okay. I'm gonna have to do a special video with Loki just to have the debate of the best Westerns, because we have it's about the top 3. There's kind of like I know there's other people who are going to disagree. So I'm going to do a What's Your Story, Loki, by the way. I'll try to make sure I kind of throw this his way with Jedi Bill, who's like the Western connoisseur, right? Jedi Bill's like, he does a Western stream nearly every week. And it's kind of like this triad of Unforgiven, Tombstone, and Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And I would really put the Searchers in that conversation, but Searchers is just a different era of Western. I don't enjoy those as much because of the cleanliness of their approach to the films back then. You don't get a lot of blood and dirt on John Wayne, whereas we have no problem just showing, Clint Eastwood getting punched in the face over and over and over again in his films. So,
and well, especially with Tombstone, you got to understand it's not just one of the greatest westerns of all time. The fact that movie got made with a nobody, never worked in Hollywood before director who didn't really direct the movie. Kurt Russell did it. So Kurt Russell not only played lead in this movie, he practically directed the movie. He was behind the camera. He was telling everybody what to do. He was showing this nobody director how to do his job. And this movie still got made, and it's one of the greatest westerns we've ever had. So yeah.
And I don't think there's a lot of stories about the egos. It wasn't like Sam Elliott turned on Kurt Russell during production. It wasn't like, Bill Paxton's throwing a tantrum, or you don't really get all that drama. But when you have these sort of like actor director situations like that, usually it comes with a lot of behind the camera drama. And
it didn't happen. No, didn't happen. Kurt got along with everybody, and especially like Val Kilmer. That, you know what, you say what you want about Val Kilmer and him being sick now and him going through what he's going through. He used to be a dick. I mean, this is one of those Hollywood guys that was just, Christian Bale, completely guilty of it. Are you standing in my light? Going crazy, bitching this guy out. Val Kilmer was one of those guys that was like, it has to be perfect. The set has to be perfect. Oh my God, you're standing in my light, you bitch.
He has to look right. He has to look right because of Top Gun. He become like this sex symbol icon thing. He's always lived in Tom Cruise's shadow, and you can tell he had an issue with it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
So the fact that he got along with Kurt and Kurt got along with him, and they continue to talk to each other today, that's crazy. That's some shit you don't hear about. So the fact that all this stuff behind this movie that almost didn't happen, almost went off the rails, almost didn't make it, and it's still the very best Western, in my opinion, of all time. Yeah, you gotta. Tombstone is definitely.
Well, we're not. Maybe I'm gonna have to do a rewatch of 3:10 to Yuma to give Christian Bale a little bit of love, because I really got to be fair to him. And Matt's here, common idiot, and I don't know what to say, bro. I love Young Guns, but no, don't get carried away. I can list 10 other westerns that are still better than you, but I can have fun with Young Guns. Like, come on, it's like almost like a music video western. It's not a real western, but it's okay. I don't think anyone gets that dirty in that film. It's so insanely fun. Okay, Ironcaster, hit us with that list again. Anything else you want to kind of throw out there? Because one of my biggest things with making sure we highlighted Christian Bale was the fact that dude is only 49. Loki. Think about what we've talked about. We barely have scratched the surface the amount of movies he's been in. He's only 49.
Yeah.
Well, kind of in looking down the list, I found one or two that like have immediately jumped up my list because of like who's in them.
Okay, bring it.
It was from 1990, a little made-for-TV movie, Treasure Island.
Oh yeah, that is an OG reference right there. Yeah, man, I remember seeing that when it was out. My VHS era of stuff. Mm-hmm.
Christopher Lee, Christian Bale, Charlton Heston.
Anything with Christopher Lee. Yeah, Christopher Lee. It's a good call.
As soon as I saw Christopher Lee on the list, I was like, oh, this is this. I need to see this like this week now.
That could be Tubi fodder, which we should probably pull up and see what's actually on the Tubi list, because I know you're my. Why are you not you're not on a staff there? You should be like the YouTube media relations guru for Tubi right now.
Email them, Ironcaster, and tell them, hey, I'm always plugging your guys' movies. Put me on the media staff. Yeah,
I just sent you a press release from them. They sent me that press release, so that's one of their pressers. Her contact's in the bottom of it. You could email her and stuff.
Ooh, is that on Tubi? Treasure Island?
Oh, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, I will send it. If you have not seen that, I'll download it right now and I'll send it to you.
Oh, I would appreciate that so much. But
the movies on Tubi is a very pale representation of the Christian Bale resume, other than like Reign of Fire. Reign of Fire is on there. That's pretty good. I don't think I've seen The Flowers of War, Rescue Dawn, or Harsh Crimes. I don't think I've seen any of those. So those are the Tubi. Here's her Tubi list there. I hadn't even heard of. If you scroll to the right, that one is called, the English name of it is called Out of the Furnace. I never even heard of that before as well. So
yeah, it's on here.
Tubi,
Both
man,
like
free content, baby. Free content. So
one of the ones I kind of want to check
Matt,
out is like Knight of Cups, just because it just seems a little odd. I want to check that out. He's got this movie Royal Deceit, where it's him on the cover holding a sword. Listen,
5-minute videos, man. Just throw a little blurb. I've seen less. I've seen people doing 2-3 minute videos of on a movie. Like it's a movie about this. This is this. You know, I think you should watch it, or don't, or pass, or come up with a score, whatever you want to do, man. Who cares? There's no rules. It's Ironcaster rules. It's the Tubi videos. Oh, we have to get him I have to get someone like Chris and Steven Ransoms and these kind of really talented folks to come up with like a silly little Tubi intro for Ironcaster.
The Tubi Wars.
Today on
time
Tubi.
This week with Ironcaster. Cool. Yeah, who did he voice? What is the Mowgli one? What is his role? 'Cause I remember when that happened.
I believe he's Bagheera.
Bagheera. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the Netflix one. It's definitely pretty good. It's darker and edgier. You know, they all have like little positive and negatives with their issues, but
I didn't like the last Disney one. I thought it was just empty.
This is the Netflix one. That's the Netflix one. That's not the Disney one.
Okay. The Disney one I just thought was just
Oh, the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
It was all right. There was, to me, it was just, I don't know. For me, the bigger issue with Jungle Book was it made me think there was hope, and then it really makes me even that much more exponentially angry of how bad The Lion King was. The Mowgli film on Netflix is definitely a little darker, a little edgier. I liked it better, way better than the Disney one. So, very cool, very cool. So, yeah, Christian Bale's resume is very diverse, very long. I mean, we talked about, Empire of the Sun. We talked about some of his early stuff. But when you start thinking about the fact that, this guy's basically a household name with a ton of films. We didn't even get to kind of his biggest film, which is kind of the breakthrough. This is what got him to be Batman, right? American Psycho.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
American Psycho is the film. And I remember watching it, and then it goes through its sequence and has its twists and turns. And I thought to myself, what did I watch? And I'm like, I got to watch this again. So yeah, I had to go watch that again because it was just, yeah. And then whenever he was cast, and there wasn't as much pushback over Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne Batman as there was like Keaton Batman. Keaton Batman was like, people were outraged over Keaton Batman casting. Because he was Mr. Mom, right? Didn't see it. There was at least this film we could point to. We could see the performance. We could see the insanity, stuff like that. This film is really, really, again, it's in the name, right? It's American Psycho. This film is nuts. I love that film. It's great. Messed up, but good. So, yeah, that is memed. That's actually another film that's definitely made the meme world. Like there's so many little clips of him dancing around with that axe and yeah, just stuff like that. I would say one of the worst films he's done. If we don't talk about anything that's just bad, and I don't know. I don't even know if there was a film. I think I felt like he phoned it in. You want to pull up Exodus? He was in Exodus, and I was like, "What?" Exodus was bad. And
didn't he play Methuselah?
Methuselah? No,
but he's Moses.
Yeah, he's Moses. He plays the title character, I think.
Who plays Methuselah? Someone plays his dad. Someone good played his dad. I remember that. I thought Russell Crowe. Maybe I'm getting them swapped up.
Russell Crowe was the Noah movie.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, because Ramses was Joel Edgerton. This movie was a mess. I will just also think, like, I know I'm one of the ones, talks about, race and all that stuff being such an issue, whatever. This is one, it never felt like I was in a biblical epic. It never felt like I was there. It never felt I just could not do it. So anyway, Whitechapel's asking the question, to be or not to be? That is the question. I don't know why that's not part of their logo. They should be like, oh yeah, okay. So Dick Cheney, yeah, he played in Vice. I've never seen Vice. I've heard mixed reviews on Vice. Politics notwithstanding, just the idea of it not being very good or not, I don't know. So I don't know if you guys have opinions on Vice or not. Haven't watched it. And Comic Release Crusader is saying he's still out there. So good to have you, man. Awesome. Yeah, Exodus was one of the worst. If I could say I felt like he was phoning in something, that's probably the one that I would point to as the most likely of not good. Just didn't I don't know. But I don't know that anything really works that well in that film. So yeah. Yeah, my Mrs. Pops is just messaging me, said, listen, a whole show dedicated to Christian Bale. Should I be jealous? Or is that what she said? I think it's I think I am jealous. No, baby, it's all about you, hon. So, all right. So, Ironcaster, what is where are we at on your list now, guys? Of where you're at on the Christian Bale stuff you haven't seen, you want to see now. Stuff I think I really want to revisit Ford versus Ferrari more than I did before, and maybe The Big Short. I need to watch Amsterdam. And I've got this Howl's Moving Castle film that you guys have all, I mean, every one of you have said good things about that film. So, and then because a common idiot, my friend Matt, thinks that Young Guns is that good, I probably need to do a rewatch of Young Guns to prove how bad of a film that is. Because it's just, no, it's a fine film. It's a fun can be different than good. And it should not be in the same conversation with those other Westerns that we were discussing. So, yes. Okay. Yeah, Chris, I'm with you. Yeah, listen, if there's that many people that are piling on something being that good, I'm down with giving it a fair shake. So, see, that's what I'm talking about, man. That movie, I wish I had gotten on it. I didn't go to the screener. I sent somebody else. So-and-so loved it. So-and-so loved it. So I think I saw it week 2 or 3. Like, oh my gosh, this was so good. And I saw it multiple times. Yeah, I love that film. I think it's great. Definitely an underrated film. So yeah, of the films that people really haven't seen of his, if you haven't seen Ford versus Ferrari, that would be at the top of my list. If you're okay with sort of like the drama, that type of economy thing, The Big Short was definitely worth watching. So raw. I mean, raw. I really want to watch the transformation films that he's done, The American Hustle, The Fighter, those kinds of films. I kind of want to see those. The transformation ones, I think, are definitely a big deal for me to get a chance to see those and kind of go from there. But happy birthday to Christian Bale. Birthday was yesterday, turned 49. Machinist, I haven't seen the shoot. Got to watch that. So, and I will say that the only I know about The Machinist is that he likened it to like the De Niro transformation. We did Raging Bull or whatever, and that he had to kind of get into that kind of role of things. So, yeah, that's been good fun. Been good fun to talk about Christian Bale. Yeah, I know Mrs. Pop's probably teasing me because he's been around since I was a kid. Empire of the Sun came out when I was young, and I've been seeing so many of these things that he's done. I was looking at the resume. I was realizing, like Ironcaster, like you were saying, bro, it's like there's so many more things I didn't even know. I'm like, oh crap. So, yeah, The Machinist. Yeah, The Machinist is crazy. So that's good. It's good. That's good. So, little Tubi love, little Rain of Fire love, little throw some things out there. You guys in chat throwing out some great ideas, great thoughts as well. And I got to be honest, I didn't even have Howl's Moving Castle on my radar screen, but I have like explanation points next to it now. So Brandon, the anime guy, I'll have to reach out to him and we can do something with him as well, or we can do the Miyazaki Talk Hard as Ironcaster recommended. That seems like a fun idea to do something like that. Pick like maybe 2. Don't think we could do more than 2, or we could just do something like that. Like just do a best of list or something like that. Go around. I'm not going to be fluid enough in his films to really offer much else. So I saw the other stuff that Tubi had. I didn't really notice anything that jumped out at me. So anyway, and I think once you get down past the first couple rows, it's stuff that's not his. It's just the recommended type stuff. It's not actually his. So
if you like Christian Bale, you'll like Newly Single.
Yeah, they don't usually put the if you like. They just kind of just put stuff on there, and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't a Christian Bale movie. You'd be like kind of a little angry, a little frustrated. So
you'll love I Survived a Zombie Holocaust.
All right.
And Ironcaster, if you check private chat, there is your link for Treasure Island 1990.
Appreciated.
Cool. You're welcome.
Yeah, very cool indeed. So, all right. So that kind of takes us through, I think, our Christian Bale. Any last thoughts or comments before we kind of wrap up talking about him?
Great character actor. I mean, he throws everything he has into his roles. He is a professional. When you talk about actors, real actors that go to the utmost limit, for their craft, this is the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, it's interesting how he doesn't exactly go like over for a ton of roles, so there's not really a ton of stuff kind of where I see him as now. Like nothing really steps outside of sort of this kind of these intense characters that he goes for. That's just that's his thing. That's kind of the avenue he likes to be in. He doesn't really try to reinvent himself too much.
Well, it's about transforming into these different characters, and I don't think he wants to play anything dimensional. Like I think he's just trying to find different things and different things that are interesting. And I think it's like what you're saying, Loki. It's like Tom Cruise is like plug and play in almost every movie, minus like 5 to 8. Almost every other movie, he's pretty much just Tom Cruise showing up to work that day. He's given it his all. He's fantastic in many of those performances. Christian Bale just. Half these films he just disappears and it becomes something else, whether he's gaining or losing 100 pounds, and it's like, wow, it's just like, yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. So I don't
name me one Tom Cruise movie where he's not Tom Cruise. He's always Tom Cruise.
Tropic Thunder and stuff. I mean, you have a few that are just these Magnolia, and there's a few that are kind of outside the norm that they're not quite Tom Cruise. Trust me, I'm with you. I've been on the Tom Cruise kind of train as well. Like if
you took the bald cap off of him and you took the fat suit off of him, that's it. Even in Tropic Thunder, it's Tom Cruise. He sounds like Tom Cruise. He's acting like Tom Cruise. He's just a more pissed off Tom Cruise. Listen to that Tom Cruise video where he's going off on that guy with COVID and overlay that on top of his performances. What was his name? Shrek? Whatever it was in Tropic Thunder. It's the same pissed off Tom Cruise. He's just got a fat suit on and a bald cap, and he's been physically transformed. He didn't gain all that weight. Those aren't his hairy arms in that movie. They put a fat suit on him and they exaggerated a lot of stuff on him, but it's still Tom Cruise underneath. There's stuff Bale's done that I'm just like, that can't be him. That's not the same guy. There's absolutely no way that's the same guy. Oh yeah, it is.
So and we agree that. So if Bale had did the Tropic Thunder role, he'd just gain the weight.
Oh yeah, he'd gain the weight.
He'd shave his own head. He'd gain the weight. He'd do his own thing. That's how he'd
he'd grow the hair out. He'd werewolf the arm hair out. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I agree. So yeah, I think it's the biggest thing I can say about the dude too. It's like he's just done a lot of transformative roles. Definitely a very interesting resume, and again, jam-packed resume full of stuff. Like I don't even know. There's a whole bunch of films. I'd say some of those that are on Tubi, the aforementioned Tubi. So cool. And Shelby Loves has to head for dinner, but I got a feeling she got another comment or two. We'll get to that. A little tease for next week. We'll be celebrating February the right way by celebrating Groundhog Day. So let's do Groundhog Day, right, campers? Yeah. And the week after that we'll do Dark City. So go ahead.
Oh, so we're gonna celebrate it again
and again.
And again.
Wow.
Okay, so Shelby Love says when he was there locally, he was filming the movie Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper. That was in 2014. He was apparently super nice to everyone. Cool. Yeah, I don't think his crazy stories go to the public. I think the crazy stories are within Hollywood and to the press. I think I don't know that he has any patience for the normies or the populace, but I don't think I've ever heard any stories of him being mean or bad. He's not really making headlines. He does not get along well with the Hollywood types and technical people and the press people asking stupid, and because he doesn't care about all this stuff. Like half the stuff that we would get all bent out of shape about or whatever, he'd be like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't care. So yeah, anyway. Yeah. So I don't know. For those of you in chat, though, you got to hit us up, man. Tell us what else you want us to talk about. So February, like I said, we've locked in Groundhog Day. We're going to lock in Dark City. I'll put the thumbnail together, get that up on the list for a week from next Tuesday. Will be Groundhog Day. The week after that would be Dark City. Anything else you guys think? Dark City will turn 25. No, 98. So is it longer than that? No, yeah, 25.
25.
Yeah, it's hard to believe 25. That's such an underrated film. Underrated film. Goodness gracious.
I remember when it came out, nobody liked it.
I know it didn't land.
No, it didn't.
Wait, so 98 would it be 25 years ago now?
Yeah.
You know what we should do?
Oh, here we go.
Godzilla.
Dun,
The bad Godzilla.
Dun, 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 dun.
Matthew Broderick.
Oh no, that's not Godzilla.
Worm guy?
That's not Godzilla. That's
Iguana,
tuna.
1998.
The tuna lizard. The tuna lizard.
Iguana.
Zilla.
Nick Tatopoulos. Oh man, it's so funny you say that because my boys were super, super young, and that's their Godzilla because they were like, they're like little kids. And I already shown them, like they had like the toys, they had like the real toys, the real Godzilla toys. They'd seen like the real Godzilla versus Kong, stuff like that. So this movie, we go take them to see it, but they just didn't care. They were so young. But yeah, if you ask them today, they'd almost be embarrassed to admit how much they like it because it was like part of their childhood, that kind of thing. So
what did you miss most out of that movie that Godzilla didn't do? It's the fire breath. Everybody was waiting for the radiation heat breath, right? There is a rapper video, and I can't remember who did it, but he's literally fighting that Godzilla, the Zilla monster, in the city, and he shoots this beam of light out of this giant like necklace that he has, and Godzilla fire breaths. And this is a damn rapper video. It's a music video. It's a video a rapper did. And you've got Godzilla doing the fire breath in that clip, and you can't have it in the movie? In the freaking movie?
It was I hated the entire like what's it called? Madison Square Garden. There we go. Right?
Yeah.
The garden. Oh my god. I could not handle all of that. Running around with a ton of little raptors and just why are we doing all this? Like, can we just get back to watching Godzilla? Like, I don't even understand what they were doing. Like, I expected the big finale to be like, yeah, the breath, that things would matter. The movie was a mess. And it just
believe it or not, Pops, that's why I thought about Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah,
that Mecha Godzilla sucked. I don't know
terrible.
why everybody raved about that Mecha Godzilla.
Look at the man pulling through. Look at the man pulling it out
exactly.
right
Like that wasn't Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, that wasn't Mecha Godzilla. That was so stupid.
Godzilla versus 50 Cent. Huh. Very cool. Very cool. I don't remember that video, but yeah, that's
best I
awesome.
can do is give you a Charles Barkley.
Is that a Barkley video? So that's not 50 Cent.
No, this was like a whole they did commercials for this and everything.
Huh. Oh, the merchandising for that Godzilla movie, man, was off the chain. There's stuff everywhere. The movie was bonkers for merch. Yeah, I don't know that I can do the 98 Godzilla. I'm on a talk hard. I mean, I don't know. I'm in a pretty healthy, good place, Ironcaster. Are you going to bring me down like that? The last time I watched Godzilla, I think Mrs. Pops went with me. If not, it was one of the boys. We did a Rift Tracks Mystery Science Theater. We did the Rift Tracks Godzilla, which is probably on Tubi as well because that's where Rift Tracks goes. Look at the Barkley versus Godzilla. I got to be honest. I'd love to have a image of me playing ball against Godzilla. That'd be pretty cool. Godzilla was a fun cartoon when I was a kid, and I love Godzilla growing up, man. I can't stand all this stuff.
Last Godzilla, because I got the ticket. For sitting right here beside me. Last Godzilla I went and saw in the theater was The Graveyard Shift at Alamo, which was the double feature of Godzilla Returns, which is the 1985 Godzilla, and Godzilla versus Biollante. That was Friday, November 12th, 2 years ago. So 2021. Yeah.
Isn't there a brand
That was
new
great.
Godzilla out? Like, isn't there a brand new Godzilla right now? Like, isn't there something else? Isn't there a Shin Godzilla?
Oh,
or
yeah.
something else like that?
Well, there's Shin Godzilla, and I can make another one of those. The new movie has already been filmed in Australia, and they're putting all the special effects in. Should be out at the end of this year.
Well, with that Shin series,
This is
they
Toho. This is
right,
Toho.
what I was
Okay,
saying was, they just did Shin Ultraman like last year, and then coming up this year is supposed to be Shin Kamen Rider. So like it's like a whole thing of like the real Godzilla, the real Kamen Rider, the real Ultraman.
Okay, very cool. I'd be more down for that than I would be revisiting the '98.
Ugh! Don't!
can't
Please,
do that.
no!
Really
Oh.
Yeah.
The final form
Godzilla
was cool.
animated.
I like the light beam shooting out of its back and all that stuff, but no. Please, God, no.
So yeah, folks, if you guys have anything you guys would like us to do a talk hard on February, we have the last 2 weeks are kind of open, at least tentatively. I love things that are anniversary, by the way. There's talk of a Shin Godzilla 2. I didn't think so. I thought they were done with the Shin Godzilla stuff.
They
rolled that carpet up.
They did. The new movie that is coming out at the end of this year is already filmed, and it is a Toho movie. It is not Shin Godzilla, though.
Loki is diehard Godzilla. We could do a whole stream just on Godzilla films, which I at some point I do want to do a like rewatch of a whole bunch of those and do some sort of like ranking watch through. But I have not watched them all.
What age?
Sure,
do
I
you
haven't
want
watched
to
them
do?
all.
Because there's multiple. There's like
I don't know.
multiple ages of Godzilla now. So you've got the OG movies, which you can pretty much pick up in the Criterion collection. That's the best way to get the OG movies. But there's going to be some things you're missing. There's going to be. There you go. Ironcaster's got it. Ironcaster's got to pull
Is that
up.
all on Tubi, my friend?
It's all on Tubi.
The
Holy
problem with
crap.
the Criterion movies, which are on there, is that there's going to be music and there's going to be stuff on there that was not in the American version of the movies that you saw back in the day. So if you watch like Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, it's not Godzilla versus the Sea Monster anymore. They've renamed the movie. The music that used to be in that movie is gone. The English dub's been completely redone with all new dialogue. So a lot of the funniness and goofiness that was in the original movie, those are gone. That original American version is gone. So the only way you can get that is on like a transfer where someone's got it off the TV or got it off a sci-fi channel or whatever, and it's put it onto a disc. Basically, black market is the only way you're going to get those original American versions now because they're considered offensive and the rights are all tied up. And nobody wants to fight for those rights because if they come out with, oh, well, this is the original American version that you saw with the kid, well, you're an ist, you're no and a Yahtzee because they took advantage of the Japanese, blah, 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 blah. So all the rights are tied up and they don't want to take that chance. So basically the only way to get the version you remember from when you were a kid or when you were young is black market, which you can do. There's a place in New York that has all the versions of the original movies. It's the big Godzilla store in New York, and you can just look them up on their website and you can get it from them. That's how I got mine. So I've got the original Japanese versions. I've got the Criterion collection. I've got the original dubbed American versions of all the first stage of Godzilla, and then everything gets simpler after that. That first stage is hard as shit to get a hold of.
So you're seriously doing something wrong in life when you're trying to cancel Godzilla, man. I don't know. It's something wrong with me. Like, I just don't. It's kind of like, isn't there anyone in society that we all love? When we're talking about like the Betty White night, I think we're talking about, the 2 or 3 people that are like does anyone hate like when we lost Betty White? We lost someone like pretty much everybody loved Betty White. Like there was nobody that hates like who hates on Godzilla? Like something's wrong with you if you're hating on Godzilla. Like I no offense, that's not an us problem. It's not a culture problem. It's a you problem. Like that's so universal. It's so ubiquitous. Like I don't have any patience for all that nonsense. So we will have to discuss off air how to figure out how to tackle the Godzilla thing because it is very overwhelming to even know like how to carve out something that we could do to do that.
Yeah, there's like 37, 38 films.
Yeah. And the fact that just all that is on Tubi is just insane to me. So I was thinking about a couple, so I'll throw these out there. You guys tell me what you guys think. These are 50th anniversary stuff that I had earmarked. Any of these kind of ring a bell that you'd want to jump on? Soylent Green or Serpico were at the top of my list for that. And then from the 83 group, I was thinking about doing War Games. I even thought about doing like Twilight Zone, the movie, just because that movie's got as much backstory and drama. Like I'm more interested in doing a stream maybe to talk about the backstory and drama of Twilight Zone, the movie, rather than the movie itself. But I don't know. Those will work. Zach's showing up. Hey, buddy. Hope you're doing all right. So love you, Zach's. So yeah, those are kind of out there. But yeah, we'll do Groundhog Day. We'll do Dark City, and we'll be talking hard, doing our thing. So,
oh jeez,
Loki, my friend, is it what? What's that?
Oh, Zach's did or Chris Persia sent something here.
Oh, Chris Persia's been at work.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just do the screen share, just the way I'm set up.
Oh, did he really do that?
Yes.
I can't get in my email on this computer.
Via the Twitter messages. To be or not to be.
Nice.
Wow. See, listen, Ironcaster, I'm telling you, man, you got to roll. To be or not to be, Ironcaster. And then you have, you're Chris, you're a rock star, man. You're a rock star. Thank you so much, my friend. We're just trying to get Ironcaster to roll with all these movies that he's watching. Like, you just watch Reign of Fire. Throw down a few minutes. Talk it up. Talk it up. To be or not to be.
Oh, it's not a bad idea. Like, and the thing was, like, I didn't realize it was on Tubi until I was already watching it until like just now, because like I had watched it on Vudu.
Yeah. No, I think it's I think there's a niche for everyone to do things. And I got to be honest, especially because you have such a better stomach for some of these, like, they're like D movies. Listen, man, I think it's kind of fun. And maybe, a couple things here and there. So
Whitechapel brings up Last Starfighter.
Yeah, I watched
you were
that.
about to say the same thing I was about to say. Didn't you? Were you?
Yeah, I was. I was like, well, Last Starfighter is OG.
You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada.
Chris Persia is saying Serpico. Serpico is a great film, a very underrated film. So I definitely have that earmarked as one I'm going to do for sure this year. Didn't know if you guys were up for doing Talk Hard on it or not. So yeah, but all right. So Loki, obviously, 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern time, mornings of mischief. What's the rest of the week look like for Loki?
We've got Snowed Up coming on tomorrow. We are going to talk about how to find a balance between work, life, family, and YouTube. How do you go about mixing everything in, finding the time for everything, and finding a balance where you don't feel absolutely completely overwhelmed? And if you do, how you can deal with that, and maybe find a little time for yourself. Maybe try and find a little more time for the kiddos, for the family, for whatever, and try and make sure everything kind of gels together so that you can keep doing what you're doing.
Well, that's a great topic. That's close to home. That's definitely my juggling act, and all I can say is that sometimes I get it right, and sometimes I don't. So, Chris Persia's talking about Dark City. You already do that in a couple weeks. Underrated. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Dark City is definitely one of the most underrated films I may have ever seen. Like, it's one of those films that bombed. Everyone ignored it. I remember putting on like a cult list or something. I mean, like probably in the mid 2000s after it had come out or whatever. I was like, yeah. Matrix ripped it off. Oh, Knots was here. I didn't even see you earlier, Knots. Yeah, Matrix stole from a lot of people. Matrix stole from a lot of people. There's your link. Make sure you're connected. That'll be tomorrow. Yeah, but this guy's working, man. Look, he's got shows at night. He's doing it. So I'm gonna have to dislike the stream. What's going on here, Bob? Isn't showing his beautiful face. Well, listen, I had to take a break from my face because I was drinking some water and stuff. So sorry, man. Literally just for a minute. We'll see. DJ Ryan G, you're gonna be hooked up, man. You get a watch in, so you'll be able to talk hard with us, man. Yeah. So Ironcaster getting ready to roll out his to be or not to be a line of film reviews. I think we're putting some peer pressure on him. We'll see if we can get it to happen. So yeah, we'll see. So
yeah, I'm kind of all over the place for streams. Like a little later tonight, I'll be on with possibly Vlad Stakums for what he's called his Transylvania Mosh Night, where we're just kind of shooting the breeze, talking about probably a little bit of the DC news. Which usually kind of winds up going back to talk about like Universal Monsters eventually. Friday, or actually Thursday, no, I'll be doing my show Ride On, where I'll talk about some Kamen Rider with a couple buddies on my channel.
That's awesome. Well, we have a lot of great folks on chat as well. ZBR is talking about doing a Doctor Who. So yeah, there's tons of folks doing some cool stuff out there, folks, making sure that you are connecting to people. You're getting plugged into all these great creators that are joining us every night. It's awesome. So I have a different theme pretty much most nights. Usually a new video of some kind is every single day. Wednesdays is comic book day, so you have 2 reviews that are dropping tomorrow. Thursdays, I always kick off Thursdays with a Throwback Thursday movie review, so I got one of those coming on Thursday. Saturday morning cartoons, and of course Sunday is What's Your Story. And this week, oh man, talk about a story. I have Mr. Grant Gregory, and if you guys don't know the story, Mr. Grant Gregory, whose channel took off because of some short works that he had done, it got stolen. And I don't mean like stolen, like metaphorically, like literally someone hijacked his channel, locked him out. He was in a feud with YouTube trying to figure out how to get it back. It went on for weeks. And actually what I didn't know, and you'll learn a lot more about this from him, was when that happened, he lost his actual access to Gmail itself. Like they take the Gmail from you. Like, so if you had stuff in your drive and whatever, you couldn't even get to that. Like it's a fascinating conversation. So that's Sunday at 9 a.m. Yeah, feel free to check that out. So yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday talking some hard, man. Talking hard. Let's do it. Next week we'll do Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. There we go. All right, folks, listen, be blessed. Make tomorrow better than today. Have fun out there. Gosh, the world's just so dark at times, man. So dark. There's an egg shortage, snow in Texas. Things are crazy. Cats and dogs living together. It's anarchy. But nothing else.
Mass hysteria.
Talk hard, but make time to chill. And who better to teach us how to chill?
Ross. All I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real, Bob Ross. I be too calm for the drama. You don't wanna cause a problem, I'll solve it, Bob Ross.